Hi everyone and welcome to the MPNFL GameFace Netball Show. Tonight you may notice that Lou and I are missing our co-host Christy, but we're very pleased to welcome the the MPNFL Interleague head coach and the Tired Football Netball Club head coach, Kira Wills, to our panel. Welcome, Kira.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Tonight on the show we'll look at our round 6 results, we'll get the inside scoop on the Interleague, and we'll also revisit the controversial premium player rule that we discussed last week and see what you guys had to say.
And of course the rumour file, but let's take a look at round 6 results and kick things off with our Swordfish Tapas and Wine Bar player of the round.
So this week we had our eye on the Div 1 A-grade showdown between Rosebud and Mornington. So we put it out to you guys on Facebook and we had a resounding result for Rosebud. Everyone were backing the Rosebud girls. And I wonder if that put a bit of fire in the belly for the Mornington girls because they ended up coming away with a 7-goal win on the weekend.
That's right, Sam. I think a little bit of extra motivation. They were all commenting that no one was giving them a little bit of credit. But they've come and, it was good to see. They've come away with the win and proved us all wrong. So they've not only did they prove themselves wrong, they cemented themselves as top of the ladder with that win. So definitely a strong force. I think I predicted very early on that they would be up there come finals time, and I'm sure that they had a great start. 6-zip, and then the rest, 5-1. Not 6-zip. And the rest are all tied 2-6 on the Div 1 A-grade ladder, all so tied, close. Which is...
it's crazy,
credit
isn't it?
to the competition.
Amazing. And Lou, so being our game of the round, we've got to nominate our recipient of the Swordfish Tapas and Wine Bar player. We actually had some eyes on the game, and so who is our winner?
Thank you to Swordfish, Wine Bar and Tapas in Mornington for their support. This week's Swordfish Player of the Round, who receives a voucher of pizza and a drink, goes to Alex Newton from Mornington. Mornington's defenders were great all day, with Holly Hood having an impact as always, taking some great intercepts, but Alex was the standout player of the game with so much defensive pressure. So congratulations, Alex.
Yeah. Congratulations, Alex. I've been very impressed with Mornington. They've got a really good team and they've got some experience coming through there as well. So having played with Holly and a couple of the other players in there, they can certainly bring plenty of experience. So I think, I'm not sure I tipped them to be going as well as they are, but it's nice to see them doing so well and Maxine leading them really well as well. So congratulations, Alex, and look forward to seeing how they go for the rest of the season.
Well done, Alex. They're certainly the ones to watch at the moment, aren't they? For sure. And I just hope some of us will be there with them as well. That would be good. Any other results stand out for you, Lou?
I think there's a result that stands out for everyone this week. Bombers versus Sorrento. I was actually, sorry to my YC girls, but took a little hiatus to do some GameFace research and check out the Bombers-Sorrento matches. Firstly, congratulations to Jen Simmons and Chloe Sharman, both playing their 100th games for the Bombers on Saturday, and I'm sure that was a bit of...
Motivating factor.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Chloe played in the B grade and they had a loss. But it was a close game. But the A grade they had the fight and the hunger in the whole game. They just were in it with first quarter, it was even. Second quarter, I actually said, one of the girls turned to me and said, "Oh, we're in here." And I was like, "No, you're not." And then at three-quarter time, I turned around and I said, I'll eat my words. You are in here. And they had the belief, they played the game that was there to play and they just didn't stop. They wanted, it really looked like they wanted it a bit more than Sorrento. They couldn't get on with a run and they went away and took it. So it was a really interesting game to watch, quite physical at times, but both playing to what was there on the day. And I think Bombers probably partied like they won the grand final. They were very up and about with their celebrations. But we also saw Edie back on the winners list this week, defeating Drama after a 21-goal turnaround.
Yeah, so, it was a fantastic game to watch. It was really difficult first half for the girls, and then the second half they just came again with the fire, and I think that it showed they wanted the ball more in that second half. And
it's craziness.
It was,
that
it was
would
an
not
awesome
be fun
game
as a
to
coach.
watch.
21 goals up, you think you're pretty well set.
Well, the coach actually stepped on court in the second half because we're that depleted with injuries at the minute. So our head coach, Leah Percy, made her debut for us in the second half. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, but it was it was good to watch.
We also know that Adramana do have some restrictions on them with VNL players, so I wonder if that played a part in it in the second half as well, if they had to make some changes or something like that. And then not many too surprising results. I just want to take a moment to mention the top spots for B, C and D, all 2 teams with not losing a game as yet. So YC and EDS taking the lead for B and C grade, and they're coming up in a couple of weeks, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. And D grade, we've got Manalizer and EDS both not losing a game as yet. So it'll be interesting. I think you play them...
I think it might be the week after.
Yes. So definitely some interesting games coming up to see really who is, but stand out for those competitions that we've got 2 teams battling out at the moment.
It's all very tight
quite
there,
even
isn't it?
after that.
Definitely. And how about Div 2, Kira? You're no stranger to it. Have you got any tips for us?
Yeah, so I was obviously well involved in the Tyab Karingal game, which was a really, really close game. It was tight the entire time, and not much separated us for all of the game. So it was a really good quality game of netball, which was really nice to see. That's specifically in A grade, obviously. Karingal took out the win. They were just held a little bit more composure in the end in that fourth quarter, and my girls couldn't quite do it. But, to their credit, they came off and they just said, oh, well, we've got another week, so we'll see how we go. Hastings and Seaford on Thursday night in A grade was a very, very, very close game. I'm pretty sure it was just one goal in the end, so to Hastings. So I know I was looking at that pretty closely that night. So I was quick to jump onto the GameFace app and have a look how it all went down. Even took a sneaky look at Seaford's Insta stories, which showed some of it. It was, definitely looked like a very close game in that one as well. I did want to mention Red Hill and Devon had really close games across all of their grades throughout last week. So, some really, really tight games. And I know A grade was, chopped and changed who was winning at some point. So, some really, really good games there as well. So, some nice ones.
It's nice when you got all 4 because it keeps the day interesting, doesn't it? You know that it's going to be good games. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
And when will we get to see the famous Kira Wills back on court after a couple of ACLs and more recent knee arthroscope?
Yes, so I'm hoping to be back in the next few weeks. Not putting too much of a time frame on at the moment. Obviously, having gone through so many knee injuries prior, we're taking a little bit more of a conscious one.
What number are we up to now?
So this is my 4th knee surgery after 3 ACL reconstructions. Just an arthroscope this time, which was much nicer. So hopefully in the next few weeks. I'm about, I think I'm almost 5 weeks post-op now. So I'm almost there, and the week off this week obviously helps me too.
Definitely.
And I'm sure Tyab will be loving it when you do get back on the court.
Hopefully.
Giving some extra strength there.
So we've had some really interesting results this round, which I think just shows how close our competition is. And we wonder whether that is because of the premium player rule, which we obviously discussed quite a bit last week. I don't know if you tuned in, Kira, but we were having a very big discussion about that. And actually threw it out to you guys and had some great comments, I believe.
Yeah, we did. So we went through all the pros and cons last week and also had a look at all your comments. So thank you for playing a part and commenting on it. It really helps us bring some more substance to the show. So I'll ask you first, Kira, what are your thoughts on the premium player rule?
Oh, it's a hard one. It really is. And I know you guys discussed that last week. I think ultimately at this point in time, it's served its purpose in one way or another, and we can see that both Div 1 and Div 2 are so close.
It's an argument at that point, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it hasn't been that way in the last few years. So to see those 2 competitions, so close, I think, has very much something to do with that. So I think it's served its purpose in that. It's definitely evened up the competition, but I think the sticking point is that definition of the premium player. It's a hard one. I think no matter what way they go, there's always going to be pros and cons for it. And so, it's a sticking point, and not everybody's going to be happy with it either way. But I think ultimately it's served its purpose, and now it's just about fine tuning it and getting back to exactly how we want it to work. But I think we've also got to be careful. If we make too many changes, it might go backwards, and it might have a negative impact. So I'm all for it, and I just think, we've got to make it work without doing too many changes that might overrule it.
Another point we all need to remember is it's only round 6.
That's exactly
As much as we're talking about things being cemented, it's had 6 rounds to really show. It's not really a full season.
Well, not everyone
we haven't had a full season. Not everyone's played everyone.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things that come into it, and of course the VNL games are still being played at the moment. So, there is a lot of moving parts to it, and I think, as you said, it's for the first 6 rounds, it's played its part. Whether we like it, some people like it or not. There's definitely, I don't think many people get things right first go. So it'll be interesting. There was definitely some good points. A lot of sticking around that loyalty and also other experiences. So not just the VNL player. Australian League, they might not be playing VNL anymore, but they've had that experience at high levels. And looking at a player point system, what are your thoughts on a player point system?
I honestly think it would work, and I think it would serve its purpose in that instance as well. But once again, I'm just not sure as netball we're in the position to be able to police that and to make sure that it's you'd hope that the clubs would be able to do what they need to do and stick to it, but I just don't think we're in a place to be able to
we're still
see
a fairly new league, really, when you think about it.
Right.
10 years ago we started, and 9 years ago we only had 1 grade.
Correct. Exactly right.
There's
So
been a lot of growth,
Exactly.
So we can only move forward from here, I'm sure.
I think I had one, there was a couple of people that talked about the 24 quarters to qualify for finals in VNL, and potentially having that as, the point where they become a premium player. Having coached VNL myself, I think that one's a hard one, because I know my girls were playing finals in Div 1 year, and I had players that I had to try and qualify in the end, but if we weren't playing finals, they probably wouldn't have met those 24 quarters, but they were still in that environment. They still played 22, 23 quarters, so they were still a significant part of
and benefiting from that additional training.
Exactly
as well.
right. So I think that might be, and we could always discuss around maybe that might come into it for the previous year. So if they played maybe not this year for the current year of the season, but that might come into it for the previous years as well, if they only played 22, 23.
And especially I think if they don't make the VNL that current year as well, you would think, okay, if they've only played a handful of quarters that year and not the next year.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So many points, and I'm sure it won't be the last time we discuss this. I'm sure it will come up many times, but
for sure.
it was great to hear you guys' opinions on that. What we would like to do now is have a bit of a chat to you, Kira, and find about all things Interleague.
Sure.
Yes, congratulations on your appointment as our 2019 Interleague coach for the MPNFL. So it's been no secret that in the past few years, netball probably hasn't received the love and attention it needs to in the Interleague. We haven't had teams. We've had teams put together in a week, 2 weeks. Some teams haven't even had uniforms to go out and play. So it's been quite, our recent history in the Interleague hasn't been great, and it's great to see now that the league has put into place this year with the whole process of how the team was come about, the planning, the time and the commitment the league has actually put into netball just shows how far they've come, and it's really exciting to see. So can you tell us a bit about how that process happened this year?
Yeah, sure. So I wasn't involved with the league when we last had an interleague, so that's kind of how long it's been in that respect. I think it might have been the season before I came down to TIAB. So, I didn't know a lot about what had previously happened. So, basically, Sam from the league just contacted me after being Coach of the Year in Div 2 last year. She contacted me and said, would I be interested in taking it on? And kind of jumped at the chance. I did in the back of my mind think, that's a week off, but still, I thought it was a great opportunity, and I knew that we have such good depth in both Div 1 and Div 2 that we'd be able to put together a pretty good side, and that excited me a little bit in that respect. So that's how I came about being involved myself, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. And so we've seen the final team announced now, and even the original training squad was actually a really impressive list. Can you explain how the girls were invited or how that came about to get your list to choose from?
Yeah, sure. So the girls that were in both the Div 1 and Div 2 Team of the Year last year were all sent automatic invites. to gauge their interest in who wanted to actually be involved. Obviously, there's more that goes into it. You know, there's plenty of girls doing so much netball. So, you know, as I said, the opportunity to have a week off for some of them was too good, and that's totally fine. So we knew we weren't going to get a full commitment. So we then got back from that, whoever of the girls were interested, and then we sent out invites to A-grade coaches for all the different clubs for them to nominate 2 players, up to 2 players each. And then we once again sent them out and got the interest from them. So even the girls that were nominated, not all of them put their hands up, but we did get a solid squad of 18 in the end, which was really, really great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And was there anyone, I suppose, out of that list that you were disappointed that didn't jump in?
Yeah, there was a few girls that I thought might have been interested, but you know, no one really in particular. They were just. I would have liked a few more current Div 2 players to put the hand up. The squad was very much Div 1 dominated. So I don't think that really reflected the strength that we have in Div 2. But, you know, there's a lot of girls in Div 2 that have extra commitments. There's a lot of VNL girls and stuff in that anyway. So, yeah, there wasn't really anyone that I was particularly disappointed. I think we got a really great bunch.
Awesome.
Yep.
You just touched on minimal representatives from the Div 2 section. There's actually no one from the Div 2 Grand Final, which is quite surprising for us. Did that surprise you as well?
It did a little bit, but as I said, you know, a lot of those girls that played in that Grand Final last year are VNL players. So, yeah, there's a lot of them with those commitments, and also they're training loads and things like that. So, yeah, I think that definitely came into it. But yeah, I would have liked a little bit more of a Div 2 representation. My bias came into it when I saw the list, and they were mainly Div 2, but that's sorry, Div 1, but that's okay.
The greatest ones. And then, as an interleague coach, so you don't have a lot of time with the players. It's quite limited and limited experience as a team working together. How do you go about putting together trainings and game day as a coach?
Yeah, it's been quite difficult actually. When I kind of thought about before we started the process, I kind of considered how I was actually going to go about it, and really it was just building as connections as quickly as I could. You know, girls coming down and trying to find each other's names for first of all, and then yeah, just getting them out on court and just seeing what each other can do. That's kind of how I've approached it. Especially having 2 games as a squad, 2 trainings as a squad, and then we ended up just having 1 as a full team. I wanted to make sure that even those squad trainings were still getting connections and still working it. So, yeah, it was very much just about, trying to build those connections as much as we can on court. And then, you know, come tomorrow, it's more about just getting out there, enjoying it, and trusting each other a little bit too. So,
I mean, you're lucky you've got pretty quality players out there, so they can play. They can catch a ball. They're the best of the best of our divisions. So it's not like you're going out there and training girls how to play netball.
That's exactly right.
But connection is the biggest thing on a netball court. So
for sure.
To be able to do that in such limited time is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So who do you think you'd be most looking forward to seeing tomorrow on the court?
I'm actually looking forward to, I think defensively we're really, really strong. We've got 3 girls in our defensive circle. So Katie Watson, Teresa Bloor, I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name incorrectly, and Jade Aaron. They were all Team of the Year circle defenders. So I'm actually really excited to see those 3 in there, especially having played against Jade and working with Watto every single week. I know that they're going to be really, really tough and really, really strong. So I'm looking forward to coaching them, especially coaching Jade as opposed to playing on her. Will be fun. So, I'm really looking forward to those guys being in the same team for once, which will be nice. But yeah, as you said, there's plenty of depth and plenty of different combinations that I'll be able to try. So there's, lots of exciting opportunities.
And you did touch on there that you had a couple of players from the original Team of the Year nominations in the team. So is there anyone else aside from those 3?
So we've got 8. So 8 of our 10 are from the Team of the Year. And so we've just got 2 that aren't from that team. So yeah, they're still pretty strong in that instance. But even saying that, those extra 2 spots, there was plenty of girls in the squad that could have taken those as well. So it was a harder decision for Louise and I to pick them. So we had plenty of options and plenty of.
How did you go about that decision-making process? Was it more about the combinations for you, or was it the quality of the individual player?
It's a hard one, actually.
I mean, you really only had two sessions to watch them
I had
as
two
well.
sessions, which made it really, really difficult. So Louise and I kind of went about it in the best way we could, in kind of taking into consideration that they're team of the year for a reason. In that respect, they've been voted by their peers. So I wanted to make sure that had some sort of scope, and that had an impact on it as well. And then it was just a matter of, there was obviously others that could have taken their places by all means. That wasn't the be all and end all, but I just had to consider that first and foremost, that they'd been voted into that position for a reason initially. And then also, just working out those spots and those combinations that I needed to fill to make sure still, like, I could have ended up with, goaler heavy, defender heavy from that team of the year, but as it worked out, it was quite balanced anyway. It could have gone either way, and I would have had to have made some decisions in that respect.
Probably touching on that balance, I don't know, a lot of sort of coaches look at their team as goalers, mid-court defenders in a 3-4-3 format or whatever that they have to play with. Is that something you considered more as in the positions on the court rather than what they can do on the court?
It did come into it. I know after my last squad training, I went home and I kind of put all these different names in a spreadsheet to see what different combinations, because ultimately I've only got one game with them as well. So I need to get them all out on the court, and I need to still be fielding, making sure it's a strong combination as well. So I did go home after that last squad session and put together different combinations to try and work out that final team. I'm pretty lucky in that I've got a few girls that work across multiple positions. Like Emma White plays goals as well as playing centre court. Eliza McGuigan can go goals, defence. Brianna O'Hare from Sorrento can play centre court, defence. So, I've got plenty of flexibility, and that, when I was putting my little spreadsheet together, did work out well in that respect as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And given it's such an amazing bunch of girls, how do you then pick your captains from that?
It's a tough one. In the end, we took it based on the girls that are able to, the ones that were there the entire time and showed full commitment to actually being there, as well as the girls that were a real presence and that I knew. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time together, so being able to have those girls that are really strong in that instance, so that they could be a voice and be a presence out there that's going to help us get through those different situations that we're going to come up with.
Awesome. So who are your captains going in, or is that not yet?
Our captains were announced on Wednesday night. Yes. So our captain is Jade Aaron, and our vice captain is Emma White.
Awesome.
So,
congratulations, girls. That's an awesome achievement. We're looking forward to seeing you out there.
So looking forward to the game tomorrow against Ovens Murray. Is there anything in particular that you can prepare? Are you thinking, strategies or gameplay, or are you just going to chuck the girls together and see what they do?
To be honest, it's more going to be around making sure that I can get them all on court and in strong combinations. So that's been my main planning in that, is just making sure, one, I can get them all on for a decent amount of time whilst also keeping that strength across all positions. So that's been my main focus. And then tomorrow it'll just be about getting the girls ready, prepared, getting those talks up and all those sorts of things. So nothing major. I don't have any real game plans. I've seen them 3 times, so there's only so much I can do. I've just got to rely on their natural talent a little bit.
So you guys have certainly put in the hard yards. It sounds like you've been really organised this year, which is fantastic. It's going to be a really exciting game tomorrow, so we're really looking forward to it. Yeah. Make sure you guys, if you've got the day free, head down to Rosebud because the game times start at 11:15.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to getting down there tomorrow. And I think just from listening to you tonight, your discussions on the interleague, it shows how much effort has actually gone into this interleague this year, and it's really exciting for us in the league, so hopefully we can go one step further and get a win for you tomorrow.
And on that, I would like to mention Sam Downey at the league has been phenomenal. She has put in the hard yards to make this happen, and she's been a great support for me, so she's certainly played a role in that as well.
That's fantastic. So good luck tomorrow, and good luck to the team. We hope you come away with 4 points.
Can't wait to talk about next week. How you go. So because Christy is away, Kira, you get the honours today. You can open up our envelope.
All right, let's see what we've got. It's even sealed.
I know.
God.
It's very secret.
All right, so In Div 1, which Div 1 club is rumoured to be considering challenging the outcome of their round 6 game?
Interesting.
Our division.
Interesting. Div
Well,
1,
there was a couple of controversial results, so I wonder.
There was, and across a couple of different grades, there were some
Yes.
very close games in. So it'd be interesting to see if anything comes of that. And
Yes,
where it is relating to, because
And
there was
why.
some
definitely.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, to Div 2. So, which Div 2 player has been asked to return to VNL after retiring from VNL previously? Interesting.
I wonder how that's going to impact the club then too.
Well,
The
I
Premier player
wonder
will-
if they're returning after being out, potentially maybe only for a year or two,
True.
then maybe they're already
They're
a premium
already-
player anyway,
Yeah.
so that might not come into it. So,
Potentially, they could have be returning after the long-term injury that no one likes to talk about.
Yes.
So,
potentially, that too. Yeah, that too.
but I mean, to be able to have a couple of years off VNL and then be asked to come back.
Pretty
Either
good.
way, where you must be a great player. So I don't think any club would be. I mean,
Sad
it
about
does. Obviously with our new premium player rules,
Yeah.
you've got to think about it a little bit more.
Some
but
management to come into that.
I'd be more than
That's-
happy to take that player on
Yeah.
board if they were in my team.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on, guys. Whilst most of us are enjoying the week off or hopefully heading down to watch the interleague game tomorrow, we do still have a couple of games being played this weekend in Div 2. So we've got Red Hill hosting Crib Point for their round 13 game, which is actually their reconciliation round. And Pierstar will host Chelsea to play their round 3 game. So who are you guys tipping this round?
I would firstly like to mention that I'm not sure what would have happened if I picked some of those girls in my interleague team.
Would have been a
so,
tricky choice.
as it turns out, none of them are in the team, so it doesn't impact on it. But that would have been an interesting one.
And it's interesting. The footy's also being played. So
Yeah,
I don't know,
strange.
Same for them,
As
yeah.
a player, I don't know where would your commitment
know.
lie there. Like it's a pretty neat opportunity to play
Yeah.
for your league, and then you've got commitments to your club, so it's a hard one. Lucky,
Yeah.
Very
lucky you
difficult
haven't had to.
Yeah, we have it there. It's a problem for next year.
I'm going to look at A grade and C grade. So I think A grade should be pretty stock standard, I think.
But sorry, just just clicked that it is actually Crib Point playing.
Yes.
On this weekend, so there you could have easily had some players
Definitely.
from Crib
Could
Point
have had,
playing
yeah,
into
very
league,
multiples.
which is
definitely. Crib Point should be able to get the job done over Red Hill, I would imagine. And Chelsea, I would see as having a win over Pierstar as well. C grade looks like it could be a close one. Being a C grade coach as well, I might have my eye closely on this one. Red Hill are currently sitting in second and Crib Point in fourth, so that could be a really tight match actually. So that one will be interesting. I'll be keeping my eyes on that one.
And I think Red Hill's got the job done in B and D grade this week, and I think even in the 17s they'll have a nice win. Unfortunately, Crib Point haven't had a win in the 17s yet, so maybe they can come take some from Bombers' spirit and come up with that upset.
Definitely.
And then Chelsea in the B and D grade for me this week.
So thanks again to our sponsors for their amazing support. With the weekend off netball, it's the perfect opportunity to head down to the Swordfish Wine and Tapas Bar in Mornington. Make sure you get a group of girls and go down there.
Yeah, I was there a couple of weeks ago and pizzas were delicious. We just ordered a couple of extra. We were like, oh, I think we need more. Great. And there was always a good selection of
Very
wine on
good
the
sign.
menu. So I highly recommend heading down to Swordfish if you've got the time this weekend.
Fantastic. And of course to Frankie Media as well, who can help you with all your digital needs, and our official apparel partner, Swivs Locker.
And a massive thank you for coming in, Kira, and
right.
talking all things Interleague and being our extra panellist this week.
Promoting me already.
Back
Sorry.
anytime. That's fine.
I'm sure we'll have you on the show again soon because your insights are amazing. Best of luck tomorrow and go Sharks.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next week. Good luck.
Cheers.
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 Oops.